Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about a lesson that has the power to redefine how you see yourself and how you navigate this chaotic, unforgiving world. It's about walking away, not in defeat, not in weakness, but in quiet, resolute strength. Leave them in silence. Let those words echo in your mind. This is not just about walking out of relationships. It's a statement, a battle cry for your dignity, your peace, and your self-respect. We live in a world that often confuses chaos with love, drama with passion, and endless conflict with commitment. But deep down, you know this truth. Not everything can be fixed. Not every battle is worth fighting. And sometimes, the loudest, most powerful statement you can make is to simply walk away. Imagine this. You're standing on the edge of a battlefield. Not the kind with swords and shields, but the kind where words cut deeper than knives, and silence feels heavier than any armor. You've fought endlessly, not with enemies, but with people who were supposed to care for you, people who claim to love you. Your spirit is bruised, your energy drained, and your heart feels like it's barely holding together. And yet, you stay. You fight. You hope. But here's the harsh reality. Not everyone will value your presence. Not everyone will recognize your worth. Some people, they will drain you until there's nothing left. And in those moments, the greatest act of courage isn't to stay and fight. It's to leave, silently, without anger, without explanation, without looking back. Because in that silence, you reclaim something far more valuable than their validation. You reclaim yourself. Why we hold on? We hold on because we're afraid of the unknown, afraid of being alone, afraid of regret. We tell ourselves, maybe it'll get better, maybe they'll change, maybe I just need to try harder. And so we cling, we argue, we beg for understanding, we lower our standards, hoping that if we give enough, if we sacrifice enough, they'll finally see our worth. But let me ask you this. How much longer will you bleed for people who wouldn't lift a finger to stop your pain? How much longer will you burn yourself to keep someone else warm? At some point, you have to realize that holding on is not bravery. It's fear. And letting go, walking away without a word, that is where true courage lies. Letting go isn't just about walking away from toxic people or situations. It's about releasing the hold they have on you, their words, their actions, their opinions. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of anger, resentment, and pain. True freedom isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's the ability to wake up and not feel the weight of their negativity pressing down on you. It's the ability to breathe without the suffocating cloud of their judgment. When you let go, you don't just free yourself from them. You free yourself from the version of you that tolerated less than you deserved. You deserve relationships that nurture your soul, not drain it. You deserve love that feels safe, respect that feels unwavering, and peace that feels natural. Anything less is a disservice to who you are. Walking away silently is not just a statement of your worth, it's a commitment to your future. It's saying, I will no longer accept the bare minimum. I will no longer settle for crumbs when I deserve the whole feast. There's a power in silence that words can never match. When you leave without explanation, without argument, you take away their power to control the narrative. You leave them wondering, questioning, regretting. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront their own actions, their own failures. And while they're left with the echoes of their mistakes, you are free to move forward. Walking away silently is not about being cold or heartless. It's about recognizing that some battles cannot be won. It's about choosing your peace over their chaos, your dignity over their disrespect. It's about saying, without uttering a single word, I deserve better. When you walk away silently, you're not just leaving them behind. You're choosing yourself. You're saying, I will no longer tolerate what diminishes me. I will no longer settle for less than I deserve. This act of self-respect is not selfish, it's necessary. Because if you don't value yourself, no one else will. It's not easy to choose yourself, especially in a world that often tells you to prioritize others. But let me tell you this, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot save others if you're drowning, and you cannot build a life of peace and happiness if you're constantly surrounded by chaos and toxicity. When you leave silently, you don't just walk away. You leave a void, a deafening echo of your absence. This void isn't filled with noise or blame. It's filled with questions they can't answer, reflections they can't escape. Silence has a way of forcing people to confront their own actions. They may wonder why you didn't fight one last time. They may question why you didn't plead, why you didn't explain. And in that void, they'll be left alone with the truth they tried so hard to ignore. While they wrestle with their guilt and confusion, you will no longer be their captive. Understand this. Their regret is no longer your concern. Your silence is not for them, it's for you. It's your armor, your boundary, your declaration of freedom. Walking away often comes with a terrifying realization. You might be alone. The idea of solitude can be paralyzing, especially in a world that glorifies constant connection. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Solitude isn't punishment. It's a gift. In the quiet, you'll find clarity. In the solitude, you'll rediscover yourself. You'll learn to stand on your own 2 feet, to trust your instincts, to listen to your heart without the interference of others. When you walk away, you're not losing them. You're gaining yourself. And in that gain, you'll find strength you never knew existed. Healing is not a straight path. It's messy, unpredictable, and often painful. There will be days when you question your decision, when the weight of loneliness feels unbearable. There will be nights when the silence is deafening, when memories creep in, when doubt tries to convince you that you made a mistake. But healing is not about forgetting or pretending the pain never existed. It's about learning to live with it, to grow through it, to use it as fuel for your journey forward. Every scar, every wound, every tear becomes a part of your story, a story of resilience, of courage, of triumph. When you walk away silently, you're not just leaving them behind. You're choosing yourself. You're saying, I will no longer tolerate what diminishes me. I will no longer settle for less than I deserve. This act of self-respect is not selfish, it's necessary. Because if you don't value yourself, no one else will. It's not easy to choose yourself, especially in a world that often tells you to prioritize others. But let me tell you this. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot save others if you're drowning. And you cannot build a life of peace and happiness if you're constantly surrounded by chaos and toxicity. One of the hardest parts of walking away is the need for closure. We want answers. We want apologies. We want them to acknowledge the pain they caused. But the harsh truth is this: not everyone will give you the closure you seek. Some people will never admit their mistakes. Some will never apologize. And some will never change. But here's the thing. Closure is not something they give you. It's something you give yourself. By walking away, by choosing silence, you take control of your own story. You close that chapter on your terms, not theirs. And in doing so, you free yourself from the weight of their actions, their words, their failures. Walking away is not weakness. It is strength. It is courage. It is an act of defiance against a world that often tries to break you. It's saying, I will not let this define me. I will not let this destroy me. And as you move forward, as you leave behind the pain and the chaos, you will begin to rebuild. You will discover new opportunities, new relationships, new paths. You will find the strength you never knew you had. And most importantly, you will find peace. In the silence of your departure, something beautiful happens. The noise fades, the chaos subsides, and you begin to heal. You start to see the world with new eyes, to feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. You begin to remember who you are, what you deserve, and what you are capable of. This silence is not empty. It is full of potential. It is a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint the next chapter of your life. And as you step into this new chapter, you carry with you the lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, and the unshakable belief in your own worth. When you walk away, you're not just leaving a moment behind, you're creating a legacy. A legacy of resilience, of self-respect, of quiet power. This legacy will serve as a reminder to yourself and others that your worth is not negotiable. They will remember your silence, not because it was empty, but because it was full. Full of meaning, full of strength, full of the unspoken truth that you deserve better. Walking away silently is not the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of a journey toward a life that aligns with your values, your peace, your happiness. So leave them in silence, not to hurt them, not to punish them, but to honor yourself. Because at the end of the day, the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Walk away with grace, with strength, with conviction. And as you do, remember this. You are not defined by what you leave behind. You are defined by the courage it took to let go and the strength it takes to move forward. Leave them in silence, and in that silence, find yourself. That's all. I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.